So good afternoon, everybody. So today for our lunch and learn, I'd like to, and glad everybody's here. We're actually talking about Earth Week is this week, and today we have Abel Page to talk to us about the 8 steps to making your workplace carbon friendly. I would just like to remind everyone who's watching on Facebook, or if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, please feel free to add anything into the comments as you go. I will get to those at the end of the session for able to answer any questions you may have as we go through. Any resources that are provided through the program, I will make sure that they're shared on both Facebook and Instagram in the comments as well. So thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Abel. Let me throw us into the right speaker view so people can see us. So I will pass this over to you. Welcome, Abel.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. And thanks for Angela and the Business Center Guelph-Wellington for having me. I will share my screen. Let's try and do that. Screen 2, yes, share. Can everybody see my screen?
Yep, looks great.
Perfect. So good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this workshop, Lunch and Learn, to talk about 8 steps towards a low carbon workplace. My name is Abel Page. I am the founder of Esperance in Action, and I have been working for more than 12 years in sustainability, environmental management, and social impact in various sectors and various countries, consulting in the social entrepreneurship sector, but also as a corporate sustainability manager in a multinational listed company. In 2021, I decided to make a change and to take a more active step into tackling the climate crisis. This is when the idea of Esperance in Action came to mind. Esperance in Action is an early stage, not-for-profit social enterprise enabling sustainability and climate action for everyone. We aim to compassionately empower individual and institution to tackle climate change and sustainability at their level, at their pace, while unlocking the full social, environmental, and financial value of sustainable solutions. Think of it as a sustainability concierge. We are still in early stage, but we are aiming to become a one-stop shop or a hub, providing all that you need to tackle your sustainability journey. Information, coaching, consulting, opportunities to learn, but also progressively building a network of local partners providing these alternatives to you and making them accessible and affordable. Today, we are here to talk about greening your workplace and lowering your carbon footprint. To do so, I will quickly discuss the issue of climate change and why it is important. Then I will demonstrate why this is important for you as a business owner, whether you are a solo entrepreneur or whether you have a larger business. Then we will dig into the 8 steps to help you reduce your impact. This is really a 101, so those steps are pretty basic and actionable. And then at the end, I will just share with you some resources that I will be going through this presentation and that you will receive afterwards. So let's get started. Why does climate change matter? Well, before we answer this question, I just want to acknowledge that climate change is a big issue and it can be overwhelming or distressing. And it's certainly quite polarizing. This is quite normal. Our brain were never made to tackle such big issues. And we have to understand that people react to it in different ways, whether they shut down, whether they are fearful, angry, or else. We need to keep that in mind so that we can continue talking about those issues and also move forward to make a change. You probably have heard of the term eco-anxiety, which is becoming more and more popular, especially with young generation. I'm no mental health specialist, but I just want to say that this issue is being considered by mental health practitioners more and more so that they can define and find resources and support that actually deal with that. What I will say is that we can all make a change on this topic, whether it is individually or institutionally, and it is not too late to act. And whether you believe climate change is an issue or not, there is really no downside to try to create a better world where environment and social issues are at the core. So what are the causes of climate change? The greenhouse effect. So greenhouse effect is actually naturally occurring on Earth, making life possible. In fact, if there weren't any greenhouse effect, life would be 33 degrees cooler. What creates climate change is the additional greenhouse effect that is created by human activities, and in particular by the burning of fossil fuels, such as oil, gas, or coal. Think of greenhouse effect such as being a real greenhouse. Earth receives heat and energy from the sun, and greenhouse gases are trapping this energy and not letting it go back in the atmosphere. Earth is really in a greenhouse, creating this global warming of temperature. Climate change is intensifying, and in fact, in 2021, more than 40% of US residents have been affected by a climate disaster. Scientists estimate that by 2050, there will be more than 250 million climate refugees in the world. Whether it is ice storms, heat domes, wildfires, drought, unprecedented meteorological events such as Hurricane Ida, floods, or else, we are all at risk and our livelihoods are threatened. I just want to take the time to illustrate this another way by showing you this animation created by NASA that shows the evolution of global annual temperature compared to their historical averages. Let's get started. NASA has progressively put an emphasis on climate change and is now doing more and more on this topic, trying to create animation and visualization to make climate change more understandable and more accessible to all. I have the link to this animation and to the NASA climate change website in the resource sheet. So you will see that as we progress in time, temperatures are really going away from their average and getting warmer and warmer. And this trend is accelerating in the past 30 years. We are now close to 1 degree change toward even more from historical average. When you see this view, you can see that we actually get into a spiral and that temperatures are warming considerably in the last 30 years. And that this acceleration, these changes are accelerating within the last 30 years. Because of this realization and because of the fact that climate change is becoming a more important issue with potential impact and disruptions worldwide, there has been a push in the last decades to take action and take some more commitment to tackle this crisis. In 2015, 193 countries signed the Paris Agreement with the goal to stay under 2 degrees global warming and aim for 1.5 degrees. These commitments have trickled down every level of government. In fact, the Canadian federal government just released its climate plan 2 weeks ago, aiming for emission 40% below their 2005 level by 2030. Ontario also has a climate plan, and you might have seen in the news this weekend that some of the commitment and action taken in it have been slashed. Even Wellington County and the city of Guelph have their own climate adaptation plan and their own target. You probably have heard that although these commitments are very encouraging and very exciting, this is the action behind tracking. And we are in fact now maybe not on track to respect 1.5 degrees, but more towards 2 or 3 degrees. This is why the time is to act now. So now let's get into why you should care about all this as a business owner. Switching your business strategy from the common bottom line, meaning net profit, to the triple bottom line, putting people, planet, and profit at the core of your strategy, will help you build a business that does more than just being a business. You will have a bigger impact on your community and on the planet. This approach will also help you consider different issues in an holistic way and better approach potential change and disruption. It will help you create resilience and manage risk. In terms of tangible benefits, well, first, this will help you tremendously with your human resource management. It will help you engage employees, retain talents, but also attract more talents, and especially younger generation that are really driven by values. It will also help you create an healthy workplace, a nurturing workplace, where employees are engaged and happy to go to work. It becomes more than a job. Furthermore, as this issue becomes more and more mainstream in the public, it will help you build your brand, create a competitive advantage, and attract new clients. And you could even think about raising prices for more responsible products. It will also help you build your reputation, as you will make a difference in your local community, creating loyalties amongst your customers. Then you will also see the effect in your operational activities. You will, with less waste, with more efficient processes, with less energy consumption and streamlined supply chain, you will be able to reduce costs, build efficiency, and manage your risk more appropriately. Also, you will be able to be future ready and anticipate on potential regulation change, such as the ban of single-use plastics, for instance. Finally, addressing these issues will also be important for you if you are looking to scale or to grow. More and more investors are considering these topics when they are looking for investment opportunities. It will also help you for big contracts or public contracts, or anytime you have to respond to an RFP. It will not only give you a competitive advantage, differentiate your proposal from your competitors, but it will help build trust with your potential partners. So now let's get into the core of this presentation with 8 steps for you to start tackling these challenges. As I mentioned earlier, this is a 101, and so we won't get into big actions. We will get into something you can action pretty quick. And you will see you are probably already considering some of these issues. There is no rocket science in there, and you are certainly already practicing sustainability without even knowing it. First step is to know your impact so that you can act on it. We are focusing today on creating a low carbon footprint, so a low carbon workplace, sorry. So I will just focus on greenhouse gases emission. You have probably heard that those are discussed and calculated in different scope, and those scope get sometimes blurry. So let's go through it quickly. Scope 1 are the direct emissions that are created by your organization, buildings, operation processes, and your own vehicle fleets, for instance. Scope 2 are your indirect emission that from energy purchased, gas, propane, electricity, etc. Your energy invoice should have a comparison of your consumption with greenhouse gases footprint. And finally, scope 3 are the broadest and the trickiest emissions to calculate, because they are indirect emissions that are out of your organization's control, coming from the supply chain, from travels, from commuting, but also from waste management. So the first thing you can do is calculate your carbon footprint in your organization. You can do that in different ways. There are several tools that are online and that I put in the resource sheet to help you do it. Or you can also mandate an expert to do it. You don't need to tackle everything at once. You can just do it step by step, scope by scope, and expand this calculation as you get more confident on this topic. Calculating your footprint is important to give you a baseline, but also to see your progress in time and to verify that the initiatives you implement are actually helpful and creating an impact. Your carbon footprint is the biggest environmental impact on which you can make a difference. Calculating your carbon footprint will also help you be future ready, anticipate change of regulation, and eventually in the future, anticipate on potential reporting requirements that may arise on those topics. Step 2, commit. Now that you know your impact, you need to commit to take action. This is the first step to kickstart your journey. First, set goals that are achievable and start small. Don't hesitate to publicly communicate on your journey. This is important to engage your stakeholders, but also you never know. Your journey might inspire others to take action, and that's what we want, trickling effects. Don't forget that making mistake is okay. We are all on this journey, and there is no textbook approach to this, but you always need to remain transparent, not to be accused of greenwashing, but also to build the trust with your stakeholders. Finally, when you're more mature on those topics, you can join an initiative to support you. There are a number of organizations that can help you formalize your commitment and give you resources to help you on this journey. Most of those organizations are sector or region based. So I just put an illustration here with Farmer for Climate Solutions, which is helping farmers implement more climate friendly farming practices. Step 3, empower. Now you know your impact, you have decided to take action. Well, the important part is to give yourself the means to succeed. Make sure that your management is engaged on those topics and leads the charge. When you define your goals, use the SMART framework to make sure that your goals are achievable, relevant, and well understood by everyone. Include those goals into your strategy and make a plan. communicate on this plan, and don't hesitate to add environmental metrics to your performance review and to your bonus calculation, for instance. Let's set, for instance, a threshold of waste quantity under which every employees get a bonus. It might seem very formal and very complicated to put in place for a small business owner, but this doesn't have to be. And in fact, your employees are your biggest asset, and your biggest chance to attain your goal is to engage them in the process. Avoid a top-down approach and really create a sustainability culture. You can also set up a small committee to encourage collaboration, get insights and feedback from your employee to see what's important to them and identify opportunities that could help you make a change. Don't hesitate to reward initiatives, incentivize performance, use carrots rather than sticks to get your employees in the journey with you. Now let's take action with easy wins. Low-hanging fruits are the best way for you to get started, to build momentum, to build habit, and to create engagement. It will help you test different initiatives and build up possibilities. You can also take advantage of a number of programs that can help you on this journey. There are incentives, rebates, and other programs that are good to get you started. I have added some into the resource sheet as well. So, do this quick win matter, and are they having an effect? The answer is yes, and the beauty of it is that it works in the workplace, but also at home. So, first thing is lighting. Switching to LED light will help you reduce your energy consumption on lighting from 70 to 90%. Having sensors and other zones, for instance, will also help you reduce your bill. Temperature is also an important one. Having smart thermostat or lowering your thermostat from 1 degree can help you with reducing your consumption from minimum 10%. Don't forget to turn off appliances and unplug them. Phantom electricity is real, and it's up to 10% of your consumption. Finally, think about your equipment. When they need replaced, consider using Energy Star certified appliances or equipment, which could help you reduce up to 50% of the consumption on those particular equipment. Also, don't forget regular maintenance to help you avoid overconsumption. Now let's dig deeper with transportation, a very big part of the carbon footprint. First, let's start with your commercial fleet. Again, this works as well with your car at home. Just maintenance will help you reduce your gas consumption from 3%. Keep your tire inflated and make sure you have a good maintenance plan. Then the biggest part that you can take on transportation is the way you drive. Efficiency driving will help you reduce by a quarter your gas consumption. I have put in the resource sheet 30 minutes free training on efficiency driving. You can also rely on driving assist systems that are coming on newer vehicles. Another thing to consider is route planning. Make sure to use the shortest route. This might seem silly to say it, but it's an important part to reducing your footprint. There are a number of software or apps that can help you do that. And then more difficult, but as efficient, is to try and avoid driving back empty and have to go back and forth with an empty truck. Finally, consider eco-fleets. Hybrid or full electric will help you reduce your consumption and emissions by minimum 20%. Consider, if possible, installing a charging station, electrical charging station outside your workplace to incentivize and encourage this, and also maybe gain a few more customers. Now on to commuting, which is a big part of your scope 3 emission. Well, consider mode beyond car, public transport, carpooling, and else. Incentivize your employee and reward them for using other mode of transportation. Also, make sure that these alternative mode of transportation are convenient for your employees and everybody. Putting a bike rack in front of your workplace can have a tremendous impact to encourage your employees and customers to use this transportation mode. Remain flexible and don't hesitate to think outside the box. Finally, and I know no one wants to hear this after 2 years of pandemic, but the best way to avoid emissions from commuting is to not commute. Hybrid and remote workplace are here to stay, with half Canadians saying that they would consider looking for another job if they were called back to the office. Offering a 1 or 2 days work from home per week could be a good solution to incentivize your employee, reduce your consumption, reduce your emission, but also improve work-life balance. Try to go for online meeting, especially to avoid plane travels, which are the biggest source of impact. Now let's go on to step 6, waste. We don't often think about it, but waste are a huge part of your greenhouse emission, and they definitely belong here. Waste are a chore for everybody. They take space, they are expensive to dispose of, and overall not very fun to deal with. Well, actually, the most important part of waste reduction is education. So you might as well have fun with it. Organize challenge and make sure that you set good goals about that. First thing, identify what are your biggest source of waste. You can do that by doing a waste audit, either internally or externally. I've done quite a few waste audits, and let me tell you, doing them in a team internally can be a very interesting team building exercise and a very fun thing to do. Once you identify those wastes, set target and make a clear policy. Is it food waste? Is it packaging? Is it paper? Because everybody is printing everything. Make sure you set target and that you communicate them properly to everybody. Incentivize your employees for good practices and initiative. Think outside the box and collaborate on this, whether it is with a competitor, with a vendor, a partner, or just a neighboring organization. There are certainly ways where you can collaborate and deal with waste better. Here are some tips to reduce your waste. As I mentioned, education is key, so don't hesitate to have big posters about waste and where they should go. You can also use the Recycle Coach app, which is a free app that Wellington County uses to tell you where waste should go and how they should dispose of. The link is in the resource sheet as well. Food waste are a very important part of greenhouse gas emissions. So make sure you provide storage to your employees so that they can keep their food stored properly. Also, do not hesitate to start composting. There are different ways you can do it that are odor-free. And Wellington County has a green bin program you should definitely take advantage of. Finally, on e-waste, they are a nightmare. You know this drawer with all the batteries that you will one day dispose of? Well, how about organizing a collection campaign in your workplace and take all those batteries for disposal at once? Also consider alternative, buy second-hand and maybe resell as well second-hand. Also consider donating your potential waste to an organization that might have a use for it. Talking about waste, I just want to mention that we are in the right place to talk about that in Guelph-Wellington, because we are really leading the charge on this. First, with our food feature, this program creating the first circular food economy in Canada and tackling food waste all over the board. And then with the Circular Opportunity Innovation Launchpad, which is supporting entrepreneurs to make their business more circular. In particular, their resource exchange marketplace is an initiative where one organization's waste really become another organization's treasure. Yes, greening your workplace will also need you to look at your supply chain. So let's go through that. Often, small business owners don't have the time to step back and to look at alternative and change something that might be working, although there are very good reasons to do so. Engaging with your suppliers on your journey to a low carbon workplace is the best way to create long-lasting partnerships with them and long-lasting relationships. You can take a progressive approach and identify progressively what you can source that is more responsible, whether it is packaging, whether it is raw material, etc. You will also be able to progressively support more local actors. Switching to more responsible supply chain will help you create customer support and will help you build your brand. You will discover alternatives, new opportunity, and you will be able to think outside the box. It is also a good opportunities for you to identify cost saving and create efficiencies. When looking at evolving your supply chain, there are a number of things that you have to look at. First, look at the environmental aspect. What are the materials used? Do they limit packaging, the use of hazardous waste, etc.? Think about location. The closer to you, the better for your impact. Also consider social aspects such as social enterprise or other certification that can help you make a difference. Consider as well environmental standards and labels. But do not hesitate to ask questions when you see something that you do not understand or that you see something that seems too good to be true. I just want to mention, give a quick word about the circular economy and the great work that is done by our food feature, but with visual that I actually stole from them. Building circular economies is key to achieve our goal in tackling climate change. Using waste as a resource and create more local, shorter supply chain is definitely something we need to do. Now on to the last step, engage. No matter how big or small the steps you take, make sure you talk about it. Make sure that your stakeholders internally and externally are engaged on your journey. They should feel invested in your journey and don't hesitate to celebrate success and progresses, even if small. That's how you will build momentum and keep motivated. Do not forget to always be transparent and remain honest. It is okay to make a mistake, but don't try to hide it. And finally, you can also include your stakeholder in this continuous improvement approach. Welcome suggestions and comments, and you never know what nuggets you will find. Okay, there's actually a bonus step, which I couldn't not put in this presentation, but that I'm not a big fan of. So here's your bonus. There are other ways you can reduce your footprint, and those are mostly offset. Carbon offset are basically paying for someone to reduce the impact you cannot reduce yourself. We are pretty familiar with carbon offset in the air travel industry, where you can pay a fee to compensate the impact of your travel. But you can also buy carbon offset for electricity and other fossil fuel energy. Carbon offset are not widely spread, so make sure when you buy it that you buy accredited and certified offset. Not all offsets are the same and have the same impact. And also the reason why I'm not a big fan of offset is that these offsets should never replace your direct action. They should really come as a last resort, and you shouldn't be paying your way out of taking action. So in summary, let's go through the 8 steps quickly to summarize. In order to create a low carbon workplace, you have many options. First, know and quantify what your emissions are so that you can act on it. Second, commit to taking action and make a plan for it. Give yourself the means to be successful and engage your employees. They are your biggest chance of success. Start easy and build a routine. Go for the quick wins, such as lighting, energy, and health. No action is too little, and it will not only benefit the environment, but your organization and your wallet. Then dig deeper with transportation, both for your commercial fleet, but also for commuting. Tackle waste and think outside the box. Engage and collaborate to find solutions. Talk to your suppliers and your partners and find alternatives to make an impact. Finally, do not forget to engage your stakeholders on your journey and celebrate small wins. It's okay to make mistakes, we all do, but do not hide it. Learn from it and share. It will build your brand, engage your stakeholder, attract talents, new customer, and build resilience for your organization. So here are the resources that you will be able to access at the end of this workshop. There are just links really for you to dig deeper and get some more information. So thank you so much for having me today again. Please do not hesitate if you have questions. And you can also contact me at any time. I'll be very happy to talk to you how you can start and make an impact. And yeah, thank you so much again.
Perfect. That's wonderful. So thank you, Abel. Honestly, a lot of the stuff was things that it's like everything. I do other types of workshops and I'm always like, you know all this, you just have to actually do something about it. And so this is just that nice reminder. So for those of you who are watching on Facebook or who are here in the room, I did put the resources, the link to download the resources in the comments section. So you can find Abel's link for their Facebook page, as well as the resource links to go get that PDF with all the links available for you. So this is a great resource. There's a lot of great resources in Guelph, just like Abel did say. Do connect with us, connect with the COIL program. There's a lot of other programs we can help you make those connections. So if you are in any kind of small business that is thinking of looking at a circular economy, looking at how to implement any of that, let us know and we can help make those connections for you as well. So that's wonderful. I don't have any comments or questions currently. So if you do have questions or comments, if you're watching this later, do just throw them in the chat, or feel free to, as always, email me at angela@guelphbusiness.com and I can get those questions and get you an answer off to Abel. So for next week's program, we are, oh, give me a second. I'm pretty sure we're talking about food safety. So of course, my calendar is so slow today. So yes, next week for our lunch and learn, we will be joined by Lisa again. She joined us last week, and we will be talking about Food Safety 101. So if you are thinking of utilizing food in your small business or just want to know a little bit more about it, that will be a great one for you to watch. And as always, all these programs are recorded and shared on YouTube. So do follow the Business Center's YouTube link as well. So thank you, Abel. Thank you so much for so much information. I always love these programs. Do you have any last thoughts before I say goodbye to our Facebook friends?
No, just thank you very much, and don't hesitate. You can make a difference.
Yeah, you can start today. Don't wait. So, oh, excuse me. So those of you who are in the room with us here on Zoom, please stick around for a second. For those of you watching on YouTube or on Facebook Live, thank you for joining us, and we will see you again next week. So have a great day.